Hello, hello. If you're new to my live, please like and follow. If you're not new, welcome back. My voice might come and go a little bit. I don't know, I've got a cold or something. Always. I swear, with this weather, it's been crazy. I don't know how the weather is where you all live, but we have had ice for weeks. The kids were out of school for 2 entire weeks. All last week and all this week. We had 7 NTI days and 3 traditional snow days. And let me tell you, I'm ready for them to go back. They're ready to go back. I mean, they're not used to having to be stuck in the house. Like, even when we're home, we go out, we do things, we ride around, we get out of the house. And with the ice, it's just been really tough. And where we live, they do not clean off anything. I took a hammer to the stairs to get ice off. And then down like where you walk and park, it is just like a skating rink. It is bad. So we've not really been able to do much, and it's been kind of rough on the kids. Hey, Patty, I'm doing good, love. Doing good. I know it's a little bit late. Not real late. It's 11:30 here. I don't know what time it is there. But it's 11:30. But I don't know if I've got like newer people that has came to Confidence is Beautiful page, or if it's just trolls starting mess. I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. Sometimes it's very clear. But I've had so many questions about me raising for my grandkids. So I wanted to do a quick as possible tea time as to how we got where we're at now. Okay, so first off, I raise 4 my grandchildren. Hey, Ash, Carter and Skylar are twins. Hey, Marianne. They're 7 years old. They'll be 8 in October, the 12th. I've had a lot of challenges with them. Carter has had a ton of issues with his tummy from birth. Skylar has had seizures and all the things. I've got one fully diagnosed with autism stage 2, and the other one definitely has autism, but waiting on the official diagnoses. Then I have Haley, which will be 5 on March the 5th. And I've got Stormy that just turned 3 years old, January the 2nd. So that's where I'm at today. Now I'm going to back up and take you through why I have them, because there's so many basically just trash ideas out there, and it's not true. So I'm going to explain why I have them, and I'll just start off by saying that they have been a savior to me mentally. I don't know where I would be without them. Some days are truly challenging, and I don't know how I'm going to get through the day sometimes, but I wouldn't change it for the world. In Arkansas. Okay, Patty. Hey, Marianne. No, Emily, I just hopped on, sweetheart. 11 inches of snow and ice. So I'm like a dusting. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Ash. So, yeah. Three already. Well, what do you mean? Okay, anyway. Thank you, Amber. So, that's the 4 grandbabies that I raised. Hey, Elizabeth. Meredith, I'm tired, but I'm also getting a cold. I don't know. It's just, I keep a cold early in the winter. I feel like I do, like, all winter. But when it gets warmer, it goes away. Oh, Carter loves to push buttons. Girl, he pushed anybody's buttons. I took him somewhere today, and he makes friends everywhere we go. He will talk and just talk and tell you his whole life story. And I don't mind it, but strangers do. Like, they start talking to him. He's like, hey, I'm Carter. What's your name? And then they'll tell him their name, and he'll say, I'm 7. And he just goes through his whole life. And I'm over here like, oh, gosh. And I'll be like, come on, baby, let's go. And they'll talk to him, and I'll just stand there, and he'll tell the same story over and over and over. Thank you, Mary Ann. Oh, yeah. She is 3. A lot of people started watching me on Confidence is Beautiful when she was born. So if you did, you've been here 3 years. Hey, Vicky. I'm not sure, Wendy. Okay, so that's basically where I'm at today. So, in 2018, the twins were born. Their mother got pregnant, and we took multiple tests that day, 4, I believe. I think it was 4. So we took multiple. And, of course, she was pregnant. And we were like, okay. So we told Bill, my husband. And we called my mom and dad and told them. My mom and dad were a little iffy on it because they were like, you know. But once you're pregnant, you're pregnant. We don't believe in anything other than having the baby. So that's our belief. Hannah, she was excited for a while. Then we found out it was twins. And she seemed kind of excited and ready and all the things. And I was super proud of her because what grandmother wouldn't be? Knowing that their babies are, you know, about to be born. And then we found out it was a boy and a girl, and you know, all the excitement and stuff. So here they come along October the 12th, 2018. And when they were born, I was there the whole time with her. The daddy wasn't. And I helped from day 1. I tried to teach her to be a mama. I tried to show her all the things that she needed to do and how to do it, and changing the diapers and all the little things that a new mom really don't understand, you know, because you got to clean like certain crevices and stuff. I taught her that, and she done pretty good. And I was so proud of her. And Hannah gets very overstimulated at times, and they were very young, maybe a couple months old. I can't even recall exactly when it was, but they were very young. And at the time, Stormy had stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks in the NICU before she got to come home, but Carter got to come home immediately. So when we had them both home, I was keeping them both at night so she could rest, and then in the daytime I would help out throughout the day. And so we decided one night, I think it was a Tuesday, but I could be wrong, but we decided, hey, let's make this easier. That way she can like go into it easier and get used to it at nighttime, because I had done it. And I said, you take one baby, I take one baby, and then you only got one to wake up to, right? Because twins is kind of hard. And she's like, okay. So that particular night, she took Storm, and I took Carter. And she got overstimulated, and things, just too much for her. And so she took all their stuff and put it in the living room out of her bedroom. And as soon as I woke up, she asked me to take guardianship or custody of them and raise them. She said, I can't do it. I am overstimulated. I can't do it. And I kept telling her, hey, let's give it a little time. We'll see what happens. And I'm here just in case, you know. So she was pretty sure that's what she had wanted. And so we went to the courthouse. We done all the things. We filed. She written statements out and all that. It came court day, and me and her and the babies went to court. A lady came and got me before the judge even came out and said, hey, he wants to see you in the chamber. And I said, okay. And I went in there, and he granted me immediate guardianship. And he told me that I was a good grandparent and a good mother, and that he wished me all the best. Well, we went home and I had guardianship. I was raising them, and their mama, you know, she stayed a little while, left a while, stayed a while, left a while. That's just kind of how our relationship's been. And as they got a little bigger, you know, it's like I started seeing them and her so much, and I loved it. Called her Storm. I do call her Storm. Yeah, but that's the 3-year-old. I'm talking about Skylar, Carter and Skylar right now. The twins is Carter and Skylar. Haley's the one that's almost 5, and Stormy's the one that just turned 3. Haley's the redhead, Stormy's the little blonde, and then the twins. So, anyhow, I raised them. Time went on, till little, well, hold on, I can't bring up Stormy yet. So, then, time went on, and in 2021, my other daughter, Sierra, basically, without going into long detail, we got together and she came to my house so I could help her at the end of her pregnancy. She was about to have a baby. And I had asked her a couple of times, like, what are you going to do? Like, they didn't have a home or anything, and they were staying in hotels, living in a car. And I said, you know, what are you going to do? I said, maybe you can get housing or something. I was trying to throw out some things. And she actually has 2 other kids. And their dad raises them, which is Haley's half. You know what I mean? Siblings. I don't know. We just consider it sisters. We don't really do like step or half, or they're just sisters. But Haley was born in court, and a few days after we got together and all that. And once we got together, and I was in the hospital with her, me, her, and her boyfriend at the time. I believe they're still together. Oh. Let's see what she said. No, don't watch. Mom just sent me that. That's Haley. So when Haley was born, the what they call it, DC, the Child Protective Services, they come into the hospital room right after she was born, like literally within a couple hours, and said that there was certain substances found in the blood work, and so they were going to step in. And that's when my daughter looked at the lady, and then she looked at me across the room. I was sitting in a chair in the corner, and she said, mm-mm. She said, Mom is taking my baby. And I said, yes. I didn't know what to do. I mean, I was just frozen. But if I could do it all over again, I would still do the same thing. And so I immediately knew that I had a baby coming home, and I had just gotten rid of Carter and Skylar's like baby stuff, their swings, their beds, their whatever, all their little baby stuff, because they had grown out of it. You know what I mean? I was seeing Storm's just got, oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I get them confused all the time. Let me tell you. Sometimes I'll be like, Carter, Scott, or whoever you are. So I think we were in a hospital 2 days total with Hey. And I went to the store to Walmart and I bought her an coming home outfit and a few things I needed. Bought a car seat and a pack and play because it was cheaper than a baby bed. And I needed something, and I got the one that had the little infant area, anyhow. And my ex-husband, Michael, which is the papa to the kids, I called him, and me and him split it 50-50. And at that point, I was broke. That's all I bought, and I was broke. And I called my mom, and I said, congratulations, it's a girl, got another grandbaby. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, I'm kind of scared, and because I already had the twins and things were going good. And I thought, if I throw in another baby, like it's going to be really hard on me. And I had already gotten past certain stages and I didn't really want to start over. But at the same time, I was not going to let one of mine go into the system. Okay? Would never. If one of my kids had a kid today and needed me to take it, I would take it. Like, I will not let him go in the system. So, my mom and dad's like, look, because I told them I was coming home that day with the baby. And they said, okay, we're going to Walmart. We'll pick up some things. We're heading to Indiana because that's where I lived at the time. And they showed up in Gordon to our trailer up there and unloaded an entire vehicle full. I mean, they bought me diapers and wipes and formula and clothes and socks and sleepers and meds and like Tylenol and stuff. And then, oh gosh, what else was it? Bath stuff. Yeah, everything you could imagine to start off with a baby because I didn't have that. And Mom looked at me that day and she made me a promise that I wasn't doing it alone this time. And her and Dad would be there for anything that baby needed. And they would help me in any way. Of course, they would help with all of them, but especially in that situation because I didn't have anything for her. And what they meant was like, whether it be formula or anything, they would help. And they did. They got me started and then they continued helping. And I was so proud to have little Haley. And to this day, they help me a lot with all of them. And Haley still goes down there a lot. She's down there right now again. She comes home, goes right back. So then I had 3. And then we were about to go on a vacation. And Hannah found out the day before we left that she was pregnant. She had went and got all of her teeth pulled for dentures that day and found out the same day that she was pregnant. So we were like, okay, and we got down to Gatlinburg. We made a stop in Georgia and stayed with a friend, and then we went to Gatlinburg. And when we got down there was a patio outside. And, hey, Wanda. Hey, Christina. How my children were raised. What do you mean, how my kids were raised? Tanya, I don't drink. I don't know who started that lie, but I don't do that. Never have done that since I've had the babies. I haven't done that since 2013. So keep being you. Been 13 years over here. So, she was, I don't know, the whole nervous, scared thing, I guess, kicks in. And she had already had the twins, and I was raising them. And when she found out about Storm, she didn't really know what to do. And there was a conversation between me and her and Will on that deck, that patio thing, on while we were down there. We were playing cards, and it was brought up to remove the baby and not give birth. And it was 2 against 1 that night because my husband kind of felt the same way, and I went against them both. And I said, I said, not on my watch. I said, we're not doing that because I just don't believe in it. And I said, and I promised her that night, on that patio, I said, I'm here if you need me. I said, if you can't do it, I'm here. Try it. If you can't, I got you. Well, she did for a while, and at first she done every single thing. She, even after a C-section, she would get up and change her when she would cry, and feed her and pick her up and all the stuff. And at the time we were redoing her trailer, I was finishing the end of it when the baby was born, and I was busy doing that. She took care of the baby, and she done really, really, really good. I was so proud of her, and I told her all the time how proud I was. And there came a time to where, because I was staying up there with her a lot, and she'd like to be alone. And I said, honey, I've got to go home. Like, the kids miss me, and I know I'm just a couple houses down, but I'm up here all the time, and I really need, And so when I went back home that evening, she called a friend in. The friend came to the house to visit her for a little bit, and then she asked me to come get the baby, and I did, and I brought the baby home. And she ended up coming to the house that night, and she never would stay up there much. And so I had her and Storm, and then we moved into the double what I had, which was Meade County, Guston. And the struggle gets real and people get overstimulated, and she loves her children. She does. I know she does. I've seen it. I know. She still does to this day. But she had told me she was going out to the bar that night, and she got ready, and I said, all right. I said, when will you be home? She said, 2 or 3 in the morning. And I said, well, the door be unlocked. Come on in. I told her to be quiet and come home. Come in. And our family friend had brought her, was driving her, I think, that night. I can't recall. I think he was, but it could have been someone else. But anyhow, I think it was him. And long story short, y'all, she ended up moving to Lexington, and we were on the phone one day. We were doing something, I don't remember what it was, and her insurance. And because Hannah got an insurance for Stormy under her, because I had the others under me. And she said, we needed to do something. I remember what it was. And I needed her for it. And I said, I can't do that because you have to do it. You know. And guardianship was brought up. And no matter what was said, what happened, we met up. We went to the court. And this time with Haley, I did do all the things. And at the time, I done it over the phone. And the judge gave me guardianship of Haley. But now back to Stormy. We went to actual court for her, and we waited until the very end of everybody went up there and done their thing. And they said, anyone that hadn't been called on, and I was like, and they had their court dates messed up on their thing, but my paper was right, so they seen us anyway that day. And we went up, and the judge looked at her and told her that she ought to be really thankful for me, and she said she was. And gave me guardianship. So you will, no matter what people say and all the things in the world, people are going to talk and trolls are going to be trolls and all the things. At the end of the day, these kids are my life. I live my life for these kids. I could care less if I ever bought another item of clothes for myself or anything. Like, seriously, do I like new stuff? Yes, we all do, but I worry about them. And I've moved, I've separated from family, I have started over, I have done all the things for these kids, for their well-being, for their safety, for all the things. They're my world. So at the end of the day, I've made y'all, I've made 1,000,001 mistakes in my life, okay? But there's 4 things that I know I done right. And that was these littles. They are my world. I still have 4 other grandchildren. I have 8, not 4. I know this. The 4 I'm speaking on is the ones that I raised. I have 2 granddaughters that is raised by their daddy, which is Haley's biological sister, half sister, sisters, okay? And I've got a grandson that my son has, and I've got a grandson that his daddy has, and Hannah. They go back and forth, whatever they do. But at the end of the day, I would do anything for them. I don't care if it was right or wrong. I would do whatever it took to make them happy and to make them thrive and to do well in school and to do all the things. I'll do anything. Sometimes that's not a good thing because I'm still a grandparent and I'm still the one that wants to give in, not punish, not take away, but give in. And that's something that I have learned and I'm working on. But, even if it was my biological children, I gave in to them too. I don't know, I'm just one of them that I do that. I do teach them responsibility, and even at young ages, they have picked up on things since we've been here, especially. And oh my gosh, they make me so proud. They're cleaning up their mess. Carter's learning to sweep. He don't want no one to sweep but him, which I sweep after. It's amazing, and I'm so proud. Well, Tammy, honey, I see that you need some attention. You have a good day, baby girl. I love my grandkids too. Just kids for me to raise. They're responsible. I'm glad that your children are responsible. But here's the thing, Jenny. Not everyone is the same. There is many, many adult children that excel and do so good in life, okay? And, they do wonderful. And they would never, put them on a grandparent. But you know what? I'd much rather these babies be put on me and me raise them than them in a system and split up. And if you've ever talked to anyone that's been through the system as a child, it is not a good place to be. Okay? So I could care less what people think of me. I am so proud to do what I do. I love them. Jolene, Hannah did have a baby after Stormy, but I'm not raising that one. That one, he has a biological father that is in his life. And so they are doing this agreement 50-50. Bobby, here's my thing. It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter what I think. After the twins, I told Hannah to get her tubes tied. I said that I think it'd be the best because she told me plain and simple one day, she said, some people have the mother instinct, some people don't, and I don't. And at that time, I told her the best thing for her to do is to just not have any more. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I do. They're adults. They're going to do what they want. Do I feel a certain type of way? I do. I believe that Sierra should also do what Hannah done to stop giving birth to children until she's in a different place in life. But did she? No. You can't make someone else do what you feel is right. Everyone has something called free will. Now, people might disagree with that, but they do. If I decided to get out and do jumping jacks right now, I could. You probably wouldn't want to see that mess, but I could do it. If I wanted to move every single month, I could do that because I have free will. If I wanted to homeschool my babies, I would. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has free will. And no matter how you live your life and what you do in your personal life, look, I don't care. I'm just happy to have you here, and I'm glad that you're blessed and you're happy in the way that you raise yours. And maybe your kids raise their kids. It's great. My son does wonderful. He raises his son, and does real good. He's married. He's got a home. He's got all the things in life that you could imagine having. He done really well. But it all goes back, like me and my dad have spoke on many a times. It's all in choosing your partner too and who you're around, because who you're around is who you will become. And people can argue that all day long. But like my dad always uses the phrase, if you sit at a bar long enough, you'll have a drink. And not Pepsi. You know what I mean? Where's Hannah at? She's at her house. She's doing good. She is thriving at being herself, and she's happy. Her and her husband, they do great. They have their little spits and spats and like normal couple, but yeah, they're, last I heard, which was like this morning, they were fine. I do talk to Hannah. She was just here. She's been here twice in the last 2 weeks to visit. She doesn't really stay. She has one night, but she I don't know. My whole thing, when I first moved in here, I had this rule set in my mind, like I didn't want anyone to stay the night here. Now, is that me being mean? No. The reason I didn't want anyone to ever stay the night is because of the grandkids. When my babies have someone here overnight, whether it be their mommy or Will or whoever, it bothers them. And there has been 3 instances, 3 or 4, to where I have had someone stay the night here, and I didn't think I ever would, but I had to for that situation. Example, I just had Will here the other night and he stayed overnight, because I had to be up so extremely early to start appointments, and he doesn't wake up in the morning, so I knew that I could not wake him up that early. So he stayed here, and then I went in there and woke him up. He was sleeping by his bed, and I woke him up. Rudely, but I got him up. It took a while. And we had to go. So, but that is not because I'm trying to be mean, or it's nothing like that. I actually would enjoy people coming to stay in the night every now and then, because it gives me an adult to talk to. You know what I mean? But it bothers the babies. And if someone comes and they leave, they're sad. And that breaks me. When I took Will home, Carter was sad for like a whole day. When Hannah came the other day, and I thought she was going with us to Carter's appointment, she left right before the appointment, and literally like 1 minute, she walked out the door 1 minute before we left. I didn't know she was. And so Carter was really upset. And so for my baby's sake, I really don't like that. But in certain circumstances, I've had to, and it just worked out. You know what I mean? So, Hannah, 26. Yeah. Bobby, every day is a challenge, but every day is also a blessing, you know. And that's like right now, y'all, I'm so tired. And this house has to be cleaned. I've got a baby right there. When I say baby, that's Skylar. She's 7. She's my baby. And I've got one literally that just came. Y'all see me looking down all the time. Storm came in here with her blanket wrapped around her head while I was live. Didn't say a word. And she lay down right here on the floor by my feet. So I'm going to have to pick her up and put her to bed. But whatever makes them happy is what I'm going to do. And whatever makes them safe, I'm going to do. Carter does have a hard time. Carter is super sensitive. Out of all the kids, he's the most sensitive. And a lot of people might not believe that, because he's kind of headstrong and a little wild. But he's got the biggest heart out of all of them, and it breaks his heart when he sees someone and they leave him. Like I said, we went somewhere today, and he made a friend. And as he was yakking and talking, and I made him come on, we had to go, he did not want to leave. He said, but Nana, she's my friend. I'm like, Carter, she's 65 and she needs a break. Let's go, you know? Exactly, Tina. And I don't want the people in and out. You know what I mean? I don't. So when I say I don't want no one to stay the night here, I mean that with everything in me, because of them. If it wasn't for them, like if my grandbabies did not live with me, I would have people over all the time, because I love people. I love talking. I love adult time. But I will not do it for them. Y'all, she is wrapped. I gotta show you. She's in the floor by my feet. I'm gonna have to get her and put her to bed before she wakes up. Let me show you. Look, right there. She's on the floor, wrapped up in her blanket. Alright, deep sleep right there, okay? So I keep looking at her like, you okay? You alright down there? I don't know. She does that a lot. And I think what it is she gets hot because she sweats super easy. And when she does, she'll always she'll go get a drink and she'll find a spot in the house and she'll lay down. And she loves laying wherever I'm at. No matter if I'm in the kitchen cleaning, she'll lay on the kitchen floor and I have to pick her up. I'm constantly getting this kid out the floor. But that's her thing, so whatever she's comfortable with. That doesn't mean I'm going to leave her there all night, trolls, okay? That means I'm going to pick her up and put her to bed. She's okay. The best one. I know she's so happy. She's so happy. So, but anyhow, I just wanted to share why I have them and how it all came about. You know, there are so many theories and crazy, wild theories out there, and I'm like, man. But, if I could go back in time to 2018, when it all started with the twins, I would do the exact same thing. You know, I try to move to better their lives. And not just this move like I have before. I try to get a better home. We lived in Corden and we owned the trailer. But it was rough. And it had mold in one wall. And it was really bad. And I knew I didn't have the money to fix it. And when I got my first, decent check, actually my only good check I've ever made, I used it to move my kids into a bigger home. I've done everything I've done has been for them, and I would do it again. So, but anyhow, y'all, I gotta hop off here, and I will lay them down. Well, lay that one down. Probably gonna lay her up here with this one. The girls will sleep pretty good together, but Carter cannot sleep with the girls. And I know a lot of you, he's too old. No, he's 7. He's fine. I get so sick of people thinking that they know what is best for these kids more than I do. Like, give me a break. Christy, I appreciate that. Thank you. Brooke, yeah, they see him. They live. I have no idea. Exactly, Michelle, you're right. Oh, Noreen, love you, baby. Love you. But I'm hop off here because the more I start yakking like I am now, the more they're going to start waking up. So, much love to you guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. And I think I'm going to start doing lives based on a certain subject because it makes people understand better, I think. So I'm going to try that. So much love. Love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. God bless you.